I couldn't tell the dining room until I got way further into it and watched the tour, which would have taken way more than to, but I couldn't tell if it was at the front or at the back, the way the shots were. I couldn't tell this one picture and the entrance when we were transitioning to the
Right.
back, but I don't know. I've never been there, so you would have been helpful. But I just grabbed the picture instead.
Oh, nice. I've even got hardline internet back here.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So we've been live for about a minute. So hey everybody. I told you I was going to do it. They both walked away at the same time. So I mean, I had to do it. It was out of my control.
Well,
so hey everybody, episode whatever, 62, I guess. Cast strength, etc. I'm Brad. We got a Hayes. We got a producer guy.
Hey, why is your hat back on, Hayes? Take it off. There we go. That's better.
Because if it settles down a bit, I look like take your pick from any 1990 to 1995 television show, and it's a very interesting look. I'm still rocking. While we are allowed to get haircuts up here now, I'm pretty much. I think I'm at the stage where I'm gonna have Dwyer cut my hair for forever, just with a set of clippers.
It's a good call.
Yeah, you know.
April's been doing Dylan's now, just set of clippers, just pulls the whole thing down, whatever.
I was going to say.
Clearly, I've been getting my haircut all the time. So
hey, James. Yeah, Nathan. It is a very, very Willard-like, and I take that, believe it or not, as a compliment. Yeah. So, how's everybody doing tonight? What's everybody got in their glasses?
A big coffee for Jeremy.
Nice.
He's got to be responsible or something.
Yeah, I've got to drive and crap and
pain in the ass. Since we're doing like special occasion things, I brought out the Hibiki 17.
Ooh, my goodness gracious! And
don't worry, I still have enough to save to share. Jeremy.
So the Hibiki, the drink that Vito's had 3 times, forgets that he's had it every single time.
Yep.
I really need to have some more of that. So either fantastic mooch in the making, or just completely forgets.
It's tasty stuff. It really is.
Oh yeah.
It's definitely not worth the price now that it's been discontinued and the price skyrocketed.
Oh my god, the price on a lot of the Japanese, well, certainly the age statement, skyrocket is an understatement, because like I don't even want to name a price on the Hibiki 17, but the last time I saw it, it was 5 times higher than retail, and that was probably like 6 months ago.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Here's the thing with Hibiki 17. It's not that it's never going to come back either. There is a very high chance that it's going to come back.
Yeah, you just got to wait a little while for them to build up that aged stock. But yeah, I happened to get that one just a couple of months before it got discontinued. So the price wasn't bad. It was still a pain in the ass to get here because you can't get it in Ontario, but at least the price was fine.
Ooh, Graham Young is having some Carchus Triplewood, which might be my favorite Carchus.
That is good stuff.
Yep.
I absolutely love it. And it reminds me there's similar notes, not a lot of them, but there are some notes that very much remind me of the Coloman STR. And that's one of the reasons why I really like it, because I mean, it's fantastic. That's why I like it, but it's very reminiscent in a lot of ways to me for the Coloman STR. I am rocking some North Star Spica 29-year-old. This is a blended Scotch, and cask strength at 45.5%. For me personally, this is the lowest ABV cask strength I've ever had.
So now I'm kind of intrigued to know at what ABV did it go into the barrel?
Yes.
And like, is it a case of whatever it has been blended with? Are you looking at a mixture of, well, because it's blended, right? So some of that stuff's going to be higher than 45, but some of that stuff's going to be lower than 45.
Yeah. And it's grain and barley, which I didn't know before. Matured in European and American oak for 29 years. This was distilled in 1989.
What's up?
And bottled in 2019. And it is definitely, for me, I'm down to not a ton, but by Hayes standards, enough to last me quite some time. And for me, it is a one I always drink. This is a repeat of one that we would have had around Christmas time when we were mentioning holiday whiskeys. So for that type of occasion, it's one that I always pour. Oh my God, it's unbelievable. And yeah, that's the one I've decided to start off. My plan was to have some set aside and planned out, but I just entered my house about 2 minutes before we started. So doing the professional thing and playing Spica is Christmas whiskey for me too. Yeah, James, big time. It's got those kind of baking spices. It's actually the closest whiskey that I've had to the Glengoyne 21.
Okay.
Is it the 21 that Vito had?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very Christmassy, just
I thought that was the Alberta Premium.
That too. The best Alberta Premium you'll ever have.
And I'll go ahead and say that it's probably except for 55-year-old Glenfiddich tasted distillery for 40.2%. Yeah, Graham. So that's really low. Obviously 0.2% over the legal minimum.
Well,
so but for 55 years in a barrel is definitely going to take the ABV down a bit.
So that actually poses a very interesting question, really. So that realistically means that 55-60 would be the absolute limit for a Scottish whiskey in terms of age before it's no longer a whiskey. And I had never actually even thought about the fact that, there is going to be a point where that's no longer whiskey.
And boy, would that suck.
Yep. They would have to like blend it with something higher ABV to bring it back up, and that it wouldn't be like a single barrel or
get like one of those massive ass sherry butts, age it for 55 years in Scotland, put it on a boat so it does a voyage,
bring it over to Texas.
Just chuck it into Texas until it comes.
Sure.
70 years in the Scottish Highlands and 6 months in Texas, and here's your 41%.
There you go.
Yeah. And while ABV is never something that I really look at, but we always prefer cask strength around these parts. I didn't realize that this was a 45.5% and a cask strength until like a month ago when I really looked at it. Because a lot of the it actually depends. Some of the North Star stuff is cask strength, and a lot of it is at 50%, which usually when there's a massive selection of whiskey bottled at 50%, it seems to be, that's the mark that they go for, and they put everything out at 50. But there are some a little higher than that. But even the ones that are bottled across the way at 50% are spectacular. So, see, Graham, vindication. It is very similar, very, very similar. And it's the first thing that hit me when I had the Cartridge Triple Wood. Was like, wow, this tastes like STR. It reminds me of STR. And STR is one of my favorite whiskeys. I really, really enjoy it.
It is damn good.
And that Cartridge Triple Wood is fantastic. Mike.
Oh, okay. It's okay. So I'm going to give everyone exactly
chance.
30 seconds to find the two things worth finding in this thing, whilst Dan and Brad chat.
Oh boy,
So,
they're
yeah,
both visible now, so you have at least a chance.
you guys have 30 seconds to find anything interesting that you may need to find, and then go ahead and let us know in the chat if you've found what you're looking for.
Yep.
Found them both.
Jeremy's cheating.
Yeah, Graham, the Lord, it's it is really crazy how it goes from heat to cooler climates, and how it either raises or lowers the ABV. And like Jeremy was saying, half jokingly, but that would actually be a really interesting experiment to see some stuff aged in Scotland for a point where it drops below that legal minimum of 40%, and then bring it over to a warmer area like Texas and see if you can indeed bring it back up to that point. I'm imagining the Devil's Cut and Angel's Share would be quite high after such an experiment. You probably wouldn't have a ton left in that barrel.
Probably. AJ found the boat in the top right, so that's good.
AJ,
the boat is in the top right.
That is a boat in the top right. Very, very good, sir.
And that's it. I mean, no one found Waldo. I had my mouse cursor on Waldo the whole time to make it easy. And Puffs and Drams, I wish I had thought of pointless whiskey bullshit, whiskey tote in there. Hindsight's 2020, as is this year. But yes. So both Waldo and Vito were in that.
Yeah. So AJ is the champion.
You win 27 internet points, AJ.
27.
27 internet points.
How many points do you need to get like the tiny plastic whistle or whatever?
Indeterminate, because we've yet to work out a method of sending it. So
I was like, great, I have 17 tickets. What's the cheapest thing? Oh, it's 4,000 tickets to exchange for the cheapest possible thing. Great, okay.
Well, maybe if you save more tickets, you can get more than that eraser.
Sure.
No, I just want the eraser, okay?
Actually, yeah, that's it. The 27 points gets you the ability to press Control-C on your keyboard.
Wow, Graham. 2% Angel's Share ABV in Angel's Share per month. So
wow.
Holy shit sticks.
Wow.
Crazy.
Now, is that linear or that's the question? Is that linear or does it start to taper off?
Yeah, sorry. Are you and are you? Oh yeah, no. So Angel's Share. So it's 2% is leaving per month. Wow, that's remarkable. Yeah. For those of you that haven't heard me speak briefly about it, Graham does his own aging in very, very interesting casks with some local whiskey, and he sent some to me, and it's waiting for the moment where I can get some to everybody, and we can enjoy it on stream, and hopefully have you, Graham, on with us to talk a little bit about it in person. It's probably it is without a doubt the most anticipated whiskey I have in my entire collection of anything that I haven't had yet. It is at number one. I am dying. There's been many times when I've wanted to open it up and just even have the tiniest taste, just so I can message you with some feedback. But I've been very patient, and I am going to wait until we all do it together.
That's going to be fun, yeah.
Yeah, well, it takes a while. We're going to have to figure out how to get it into the
land down under,
the big red continent. Jared, longest of aging a cask is 139 days. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I noticed, Graham, on one of your recent posts that you just recently bottled a more recent one of your experiments, and looked super interesting. And I really love that you've taken your interest in the hobby to the next level. And there's those of us that have an infinity bottle, and even that is taking the hobby up to another level, experimenting a bit, whether you're doing it purposely and trying to get some specific flavors or specific profile, or whether you're just making your infinity bottle of everything when it gets down low, or people that are aging it themselves in the mini barrels, and then we have some friends that take it to the ultimate level and open a distillery. So it's
Bunch of obsessives. They just couldn't stop themselves.
Although if we had the means and the time and everything, a distillery probably wouldn't be too out of the question. But the hoops you have to jump through up here in Ontario are, I think they're more than anywhere else. As crazy as it is in Texas, and as crazy as it is in the other places we've heard about, Ontario is nuts.
I mean, it's a lot harder than just going and visiting Silver Fox. So,
which is and Mark and Lisa are pretty awesome. So
the palindrome batch, nice.
Yeah, awesome. Started on cool.
Very nice.
Awesome. Perfect. Appreciate that, Graham. That's fantastic. And that is really, really neat. The palindrome batch. I love that on 02/02/2020. That's super cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, really neat when it has an extra meaning there, because simply doing what you're doing has a lot of meaning in it. But
strictly speaking, that's a pre-pandemic palindrome as well, because we all know everything stopped in March.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So I'm going to switch to the Aaron Bothy quarter cask.
Ooh.
I just have a sample of it. But...
It is, me too. I've got a sample as well. I believe that is from James.
I believe that is correct.
So thanks, James, for hooking those up too, because it is actually really, really good. And from what I remember, it wasn't me again. It was James who picked up that bottle. I believe it was sub 70. And for the price, it seems a knockout whiskey. I've yet to have a bad Aaron, though.
Cheers, Puffs and Drams, who just opened up recently the same thing.
See,
nice one. What a coincidence.
This is where it hurts. If the distance didn't already make it hard enough that, no samples other than, my birthday Master of Malt stuff from Brad have ever made it my way, I can't even get up there this year.
It's a little tricky. It's a little tricky right now, traveling and things.
Yeah.
International travel is a little sketchy currently.
I am both extremely excited and extremely fearful of the time when we physically are in a meeting together, because it's gonna be it's
gonna be real ugly
trouble.
It's gonna get sloppy.
It's gonna get very sloppy. Thank you, reciprocal healthcare and replaceable livers.
We all have healthcare covered, so it's fine as long as we don't invite any Americans. We're good.
Yeah. So
or they're supervised.
Paying.
I mean, we're gonna need designated drivers and things, right? So
yeah.
$90.
Sure, that won't cause any problems.
Is pretty good. I would pay $90 for it. I said, I think it was in the 60 area when James picked it up, and I remember that being just incredible value.
Graham's the man to know.
That's crazy good value. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been including it in the special occasion things because I'm not going to be able to get a bottle of that anytime soon.
Yeah.
I have a tiny sample, so I'd only pull it out on very special times.
I have good healthcare, guys. Blue Cross Blue Shield. And does that cost you? as much as it costs us up here for a total. I think it works
as
out
long as he's got himself covered, that's
$0
okay.
a month, and then a year over. Yeah, it's about $0 a year. I think that.
Socialist.
I mean, really, Dan, is it 0 or are you just taxed
No.
differently?
No, we do get taxed.
we get taxed quite a bit. Although, I mean, compared to some of the states, not really that much different. But that's a discussion for a different sort of thing.
Yeah, no, we certainly do. We pay for it every time we go to buy a bottle from the LCBO.
That is true.
That $200 bottle of Ugadel.
Oh, geez, yeah.
But yeah,
see, Ugadel's only 150 here. It's all good.
Fuck, it's unbelievable, man.
That's still pretty rough.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's not changing it to freedom dollars or anything either. That's
right. Yeah.
That's $150.
Oh, Graham, you are just too.
That's not terribly different than Canadian. Australian and Canadian dollars are close-ish.
Yeah.
Closer than Canadian to the U.S. At least.
Jason Vito is very hectic right now. Getting back to work with the new protocols and everything is super sketchy, and just a lot to take on. It adds a lot of extra time and all of that jazz. So he's having some adjusting time for that, and just having a bit of some self time to make sure that things are kosher.
His internet connection lead works well.
Damn it, Graham! You're gonna set off my feeling. You keep being nice like that.
Wait, I thought your only feeling was cognitive dissonance.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Oh God. But yeah, back to Puffs and Drams. While it does suck that someone across the country is paying $68 again, you can't be. A bottle of whiskey is kind of like a lot of things, like a good meal or a tattoo. At the end of the day, if you're really happy with it, you can't look at it as overpaying. Like if you've paid for something and you're extremely happy with it and completely satisfied, you can't look at someone else who may have paid cheaper. And like, obviously facts are facts, and that it is available somewhere else for cheaper. But for you at the personal level, if you're satisfied and you like it, you didn't overpay.
That's it. What is it? Not only is taste subjective, but value is as well.
Yep.
And that is often a massively overlooked factor. Is value is highly subjective.
Big time. And that is something that is overlooked and not mentioned, pardon me, as much as it should, because it's a direct correlation too of that taste being subjective. And some people, but also Puffs and Drams, sometimes we get to underpay the odd time. I don't know if you're a bourbon guy, and if you did get, and I'll always use this example, but the Old Weller Antique that we had for $35 Canadian, that was them throwing us a bone.
Yep.
Actually, it was them just not realizing how much it was selling for retail in other places.
I think I paid like $38 for the Weller 12. What I got?
All I need to say is
Canadian. So that's crazy.
Yeah.
All I need to say is Blanton's all day long. Less than a kilometer away from me. Cases of it. The $80
Or even like the black art up here, even in Ontario, is often the same price or slightly cheaper than a lot of places in the U.S. for some reason. I don't understand why, but
Puffs and Drams, I did not yet. I believe that was the Eagle very rare double whatever.
Was that the one with the pretty bottle with the eagle inside the bottle?
Yes.
So you're really only paying for the massive fiddly bit that you can never touch.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It looks. I'm sure it would look amazing, like in a collection.
Double Eagle extra rare.
It is a gorgeous bottle
with an LED underneath it.
Yeah, so it is a damn nice bottle. But all right,
Yeah, Jason Busey said, "Oh, Brad, I don't know if you follow Talisker on Insta.
Oh,
They had a bottle of Talisker 41 pictured earlier this week. They probably went to Brad's house to take the picture."
Sadly, no. If only. I would be drinking that if I had some.
What are you doing?
It is really tempting to get some of that, though, but I would have some harsh explaining to April for that kind of an expense.
Yeah, I don't even want to know what the tag is.
It's very simple, Brad. Just go, oh, this car is for you, April.
That's not going to work. She already She'll just be very confused. But yeah, I could give the car back and then get 2 bottles of Talisker. Maybe. No.
No. I put in for the Blanton's gold, but $100 is steep. Yeah, it is.
It is, and in my opinion, it is kind of around that area. I have had it before a few times. $100 for me is the maximum amount that I would pay for a bourbon that, like if I'm buying it to drink, which is why I buy all my whiskey. Because again, Stag Junior, which unfortunately is a lotto, but is still sub 100. Booker's you can buy on the shelf for $100, sometimes slightly less. Four Roses single barrel, which isn't in the same category as those, it's still $50. So
that's the thing, right? Like I would rather buy, and for that money, I could literally go and get a bottle of Booker's and a bottle of JD. And it's not about the volume, right? Like I would put Booker's on par-ish with Blanton's for my taste profile and everything. Like that's fine. And then, you could then just, have a couple of JDs and a Coke and fucking all is, peachy with the world.
Yep.
Yeah, big time. And so I've had some fantastic bourbon before. I've had Pappy 23, thanks to this guy. I've had the Van Winkle Lot B. I've had Pappy. I think it was a 15 one time. And at the end of the day, the tags that those go for are just not worth it. Again, because certainly taste per dollar at Booker's at $88 to $100. It's really hard to beat that.
That literally sums up the whole thing of subjective right there, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I mean, I like my Ardbeg. Fuck, I am looking forward to the end of the budget thing, because the last bit of the budget, I am going to go get some Ugadal.
Excellent.
And some Corey of Reckon.
Excellent. Good stuff.
It's in the budget. Oh, nice. But outside of the budget challenge side of stuff, like I would quite happily pay $200 for $200 for for an Ugadal. I wouldn't drink it in the same manner as I would at $100, but definitely worth it. Hey, I'm assuming that is the gorgeous ginger bear.
I would assume so. Yeah.
Yeah.
What have we got? We've got a ginger bear.
Oh, look! If we could get a ginger bear on, life would be fantastic, wouldn't
it? We may have a ginger bear in the chat. Confused about this professional and outstanding stream experience that he is currently viewing.
Yeah,
you probably clicked the wrong button on Facebook.
To go back, Graham, I definitely give the nod to the Carchus also if I really did have to choose, just because of that higher ABV that gives it that nice punch. And I'm also a Lafroig sucker for Lafroig. I love it. It still has that Lafroig.
Yeah, okay, that doesn't narrow it down. It's either Josh or Gretchen.
That's true. It's either Josh or Gretchen. Both
sorry.
fall under that.
It is Gretchen.
It might be both. Oh, it's Gretchen. Okay.
Where is why am I not seeing these messages?
because they're in the Facebook chat, my friend.
Oh, what in the what?
Yeah,
Technology.
We're
This is a
simulcast.
simulcast?
Yeah. Also,
Holy
if you tune into 684 on your AM, you will also.
Sure. We really
Oh my
should
goodness.
start putting them up on the OnlyFans account just to confuse people.
Yeah.
Oh,
He didn't hear you,
I
Brad.
love
I
this
like
STR. I love it.
We'll just let it slide. It's fine.
Yep.
I just
Thank you. Not quite yet, but yes.
I was literally just going to say that midnight is the time.
Yep. Or it is time right now for some of us in the world.
It is. That's true.
Yep.
Time is a flat circle and all of that stuff. So
Oh,
true.
it is what it is.
STR will always be an occasion.
I'd like to claim that, but it's actually our IT specialist, George. We should have George on one day, shouldn't we, Brad?
That would be fun.
He's a really cool dude.
Oh, I just have to country, Canada, province, Ontario.
What are you buying now? What's going on?
Neocilius californicus.
Nice.
Oh,
if
yeah.
Graham Thurston was in here, he would probably correct me on that Latin pronunciation.
So for those of you who don't follow Iron Root, shame on you. But Iron Root have their Harbinger 2020 release, and what was it, six pallets or something? When I was speaking to Patrick,
I bet you that's tasty. Damn it!
So the absolutely awesome Patrick Cohen and the fantastic Texas Whiskey Life Gretchen and Josh Geberbele have been madly bottling something fierce.
Are you implying that Patrick Cohn is still alive? I don't know. If comments on YouTube are any indication, Patrick Cohn is
I heard a rumor that he died in a smelting accident.
I'm just assuming he would go back to his own time. But,
Oh, and sorry, yeah. Look, and I did know Emma was doing blending. That is a massive peek behind the curtain.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
See, look, we're getting actual breaking news, exclusive behind the scenes info. And if we aren't supposed to know that, then you didn't hear it from us.
Yep. The only solution I have, Graham, is you're closer than I am, and you can physically drive there.
Yeah, Graham. The next time a bottle does make it up, and it will, we will be absolutely certain to put some aside for you. I'm hoping that we can maybe get ourselves some of the next bottling of the Evolution BBC Josh Galladay special.
Oh, that would be nice.
Because the first one was absolutely stellar.
And
yeah, it really is all the buzz. And the main reason I want to get it up here is because there's a massive bourbon following in Ontario and Toronto, and almost nobody has had Iron Root. There's never been. I will admit that I'm a member of secondary market pages, because sometimes there is the only way that we can get certain bottles. I don't sell anything. I never have. I never will. But I've never ever seen a single bottle of Iron Root available in Canada, outside of the one that was physically brought up by you guys. So when we do get some,
oh damn, Graham, you're a gentleman.
Damn. Thanks. Cheers.
Cheers, Graham. I will raise some STR, which I have in my glass, to you.
Convenient. I switched to the Talisker 15 special release. 57.3%.
Yeah, I really like that. That is my third favorite Talisker, I think. But I haven't gone into my journal to actually compare numbers. But
Jason,
it's hard to.
Okay, so I am very much not in Canada. If you couldn't pick it up, but I am fairly damn certain that olive oil to Canada still runs a massive risk of being held at the border.
It definitely. People do it. I wouldn't condone it, but people definitely do it. But it's at a high risk of just disappearing, and it's not like you have a recourse. So anything worth actually getting is very risky to go that route.
There you go. Yes, that is actually something that Robert did say. It's been a while since we've had Robert on, and he is just an absolute true gentleman of the industry. But he was saying like you could taste a barrel at 12 o'clock in Texas, and then that sweet point is left at 5 o'clock. So they tend to do to wait till things settle down or
right.
And yeah,
and that's the one thing that always gets me. Like it always just blows my mind, and kind of tying into what we said earlier. You have a barrel, waiting for 50 years, and then you realize when you test the ABV on it, it's dropped down to 40 or something. But it's just that a day can make that much of a difference, or 2 days, or 3, or like Gretchen just said, a matter of hours. If it's hot enough and the conditions are right, so. It's always like nerve-wracking for me that these distillers have to do that and make the right guess. And I know with experience and knowledge, you can say, okay, I know where this is going, and you can sort of predict, having been in your area, knowing the weather and that, you can kind of predict on if you should leave it for another X amount of time, or if you need to come back and literally check at midnight. But that's one thing that's always like I'm nervous for distillers.
Can
you never know what happens, and you can only visit X amount of barrels in a day. Like even if you're just doing like an ABV test and maybe having just the absolute tiniest sip, you can still only check so many in a day. So you never know. That's just
like they canceled a tasting because Tuesday it was it's just insane.
Yeah, see, it's wild, and especially down in there in Texas when you can have a day that just all of a sudden skyrockets.
It could be 110 degrees during the day and then like 65 at night, and the barrels just go nuts.
You think about it though, right? So before we had the ability to record all this is always been there, but before you had a lot of that data, right? Those Scottish distillers that were aiming for 20, 30-year-old whiskies. Theoretically, it would take them 10 to 15 to 20 years to learn their art before they got to a point where the juice that they were making was worth the risk of a 20 to 30-year barrel. So there is always a potential that the product that they were putting in a barrel, they would never, ever, ever know the results of, and then what to change. Whereas those guys in Texas literally are getting, in some cases, 5 years worth of data in a week.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But then to then get anything meaningful out of all of that, and those guys are doing absolutely fantastically.
Yep.
I can't say enough good things about the STR, though. If you guys have access to Coloman STR, if you guys ever see it, I know it obviously becomes more and more rare as time goes on. It's excellent. It is a must try, must buy if anyone sees it. And to address an earlier comment from Graham, I haven't had the 2014 Distillers Edition, but I have had Brad put on a Talisker tasting actually for us. He came down to our neck of the woods and put on a Talisker tasting. It was absolutely fantastic. So got to try a lot of wonderful ones. But Brad also shared with me Talisker 1987.
85.
Sorry, 85.
Yeah.
T85. And it is absolutely... It is unbelievable.
It is.
It's up there for the best whiskeys I've had. Never mind just a Talisker, but it was the farthest away fuck, it's hard to explain. It was a lot different than other Taliskers, but still completely had that Talisker profile. Like you knew that it was Talisker for sure, but it had like a brininess, like a sea salty air kind of to it for me. That just was marvelous, just incredible whiskey. And then he mentioned that his birth year Bowmore had to be
they had to
done
mix
with-
it with the next year to bring up the ABV.
yeah, so that's like you guys were saying before, that's crazy, and it's something that I had actually a point that I had never actually thought of until this evening.
Right.
And
So I will answer very, very layman's here, Puffs and Drams, because I am far from any expert. Put simply, yes, but you would have to be very distinct in what you mean by Scotch, because Scotch takes on a fucking massive spectrum unto itself.
True enough.
So, what sort of Scotch profile are you after? Can you make something that tastes like Ardbeg, Wee Beastie? Most certainly. Can you do something like an Ugadal? Yeah, but then what's going to start happening is you're going to start separating, as in the ABV is going to be going up, whereas traditional Scotches tend to go down as they age. So, do you add water? I think it's the French method. Do you add water to bring that ABV down continuously and let it age and stuff like that? You are going to be able to make comparable products, but it's akin to saying, can you make Highland Scotch on Isla? Well, the answer is comparable. Yes, the environmental factors are going to be an influence, so you're going to have to tweak it. So yeah,
And for similar-ish taste profiles, you're probably looking at a fairly younger whiskey than a comparable Scotch, at least in some places in the U.S. Other places, it could be very drastic because the temperature change would be more drastic from heat to cold. So, yes.
Which is why I think
quotes.
The Texas whiskey boom has been such a phenomenal thing. Is they're not trying to make anything other than a whiskey, and they're still trying to discover the Texas profile.
Yeah. But what can we do here?
Yeah.
And especially what can we do here that can't be done other places? Because why not? Just for the sake of being different.
Not let's make a bourbon. Hey, we've got this really cool environment where the ABV goes up. Let's make a whole shit ton of hazmat whiskey. Not that at all, which is fantastic. They are literally like, these are the basic building blocks. Let's fuck around and find our flavor, which is awesome.
So Puffs and Drams, Nathan dropped a couple couple examples there that I can't even speak to because I haven't had the chance to try them, but Nathan definitely knows what he's talking about. So while you're in the same boat as us and don't have direct access to any of that, whatever he recommended, I would try and give a shot. And then, you can see there, the Balcones peated is comparable to Oban 14. So that'd be neat. Graham, first I want to address your previous comment, Graham, about everything about that comment is just absolutely incredible to me.
There is one problem with that comment, though.
I don't want to get stabbed, Graham. That's the problem is I don't want to get stabbed.
Okay, for standard distillery bottlings, like not independent bottlings and not special releases, I think I'm on that board with you right now.
It's definitely up there.
Yeah, certainly some independent bottlings I've had that I would if we're counting Octomore, I have to go with the Octomore 10-year. It is one of my favorite whiskeys. Sure. So I put the Octomore 10-year, but it is kind of in a different level.
Yeah.
It's definitely a special release. It's definitely not readily available, and it's definitely more than twice the price of the Talisker 10. But I would have to say for, again, readily available standard releases from a distillery, I would probably agree with you on Talisker 10 is remarkable.
Now, I'm not about to get stabbed, but I am going to put this comment on the screen for just a second and then make it disappear again.
It's been really nice knowing you, Jason. You were really, really interesting.
They have too much of my whiskey. I just can't play games with them right now. They have way too much of my whiskey there, and I can't go get it. So
someone made the comment on that Facebook page. You know, that little one that competes with us, that tiny one. You know, like I really enjoyed Ardbeg 10, but I don't want to join No Cult. And I was like, yeah, you don't join the cult. They just rock up with swords and
they just show up.
Shit and that little Pete.
Yeah, Graham. So yeah, just speaking for 10-year-olds though, like comparing across the board for 10-year-olds, Octomore 10-year-old, and it is actually my second favorite Octomore that I've ever had. But a lot of the younger Octomores are completely stellar, out of this world. My favorite Octomore is definitely, I think, a 5-year-old. So yeah, they are spectacular. But if of all the 10-year-olds that I have in here, I would have to go for the Octomore 10-year because I'm absolutely in love with it. But Talisker is certainly damn close.
It is extremely solid, and for the price, like
exactly, all the other things considered, like I could go to the LCBO right now and pick up a bottle of Talisker 10. Any location will have Talisker 10 there.
Although, like personally, side by side, I would just go even cheaper with Talisker Storm and enjoy it more. So
yeah, so
that's me. So,
that's funny, Graham, because the 7.1 is my favorite Octomore that I've had.
7.1 is great.
Yeah, so there you go. Agreed there. And the 8.3, I can't remember if I had the 8.3. I think that one managed to slip by. But yeah.
Yeah, I've had a little sip of it, but I've never had like a sample or a bottle or anything.
Oh God. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, for just because of the whole socio-political climate right now with everybody in law enforcement, I am just going to state that I do not have any human beings captive in my house.
I mean, that's not to say that he's not captive.
There you go. You don't use any words. It's fine. We get you. Message received. Sure, no problem. No problem.
So yeah, the STR is.
I know where you live. It's fine.
So the STR is really good, and someone will be around shortly to help you with that.
Don Holland with the shots fired. I love the 10-year second edition. I absolutely love it. But that's the beautiful thing about taste being subjective. 6.1 is another good one that I did get to try, Jason. Oh my God. If I do, I'll friggin'.
Oh yeah, and Graham is talking about Talisker 57. Hell yes, 57 North, so good.
Yes, the 57 North was really good. I've never had a Talisker that I didn't really enjoy. To be fair, though, the Dark Storm that Vito had that oxidized, not great. But again, that's because it didn't oxidize well. The Dark Storm, fresh is spectacular.
Yeah, after that happened to him,
really
I got through the Dark Storm a lot faster, and it was great the whole way through.
Yeah.
But I did drink it quite a bit faster than he drank his.
Yeah, that's for sure. So yeah, any of you, that is a point. If you have some Talisker Dark Storm and it's sitting in the bottle, get to it sooner than later, because while still enjoyable, it's half the whiskey that it is when it's fresh.
Or transfer to a smaller bottle, or something. Do something to avoid it sitting too long with a bunch of air in the bottle. Yeah, look behind haze, and you'll see.
Get yourself some 8-ounce bottles, and when your bottle gets to that point, decant it into the 8-ounce bottle. It works wonders and creates a lot of room on the shelves for sure. No, Don Holland. And I did see that you mentioned that briefly when you did join. The Iron Root is not coming to LCBO anytime soon that we can foresee. They're definitely open to it. It's something that in the future I'm sure they will pursue. But they're just trying to handle things as it is down there in Texas. As it stands right now, they can't even produce it enough. So...
Yeah, they're not even spread very far in the U.S. Like you could only get it in a couple of states.
They've got Total Wine, and that's been progressing through. But from my understanding, and I could be very wrong, it's just because it's at Total Wine doesn't mean that your particular Total Wine has ordered it and ticked the box.
Yeah, and they physically wouldn't be able to put it on all of the Total Wine shelves in the U.S. Like they don't have anywhere near that much whiskey. So it's just it's tricky, but it is slowly expanding and spreading and finding its way different places.
For those of you who don't live in a communist country, you can just order it from Master of Malt as well. Texas Legation.
Rude, very rude.
Rude.
But yeah, William is talking about the Storm being his go-to. Same. That's one of my fastest rotating bottles is Talisker Storm. I go through it quite a bit.
Yeah, it's great. Again, for the price, it's remarkable. And the Dark Storm is a travel exclusive, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so AJ, the Dark Storm.
I can buy Dark Storm at the store, it's not a problem.
Oh my god.
Damn foreigners.
But hey,
someone should build a wall.
I have to
wait, that's not gonna help us with Australia. Never mind.
We have a whole barrier reef, damn it.
You do. And yeah, Jason, your beard gets you into a lot of places automatically. That is a truly remarkable beard. It is awe-inspiring.
Although mine got me ID'd the other day, and I don't know how the fuck that happens. Because
nice. Hey, don't even question it.
If you actually get a high-def camera, there's a shit ton of gray and white in there.
You just try to look older so you can buy booze without getting carded.
Hell yeah! That's what I did is I try and get the widow's peaks up further. Sure. Much grey and white as I can in there, and also my bones make funny noises randomly just so I can buy booze earlier.
Absolutely, it's a good strategy. For my last one, I'm going to go with Ardbeg Renaissance just to appease the cult, so I don't get stabbed for all my past comments.
Nathan, we take her.
No, Nathan, this is just my normal voice.
Oh boy,
something's happening in my pants.
Tune into.
You're wearing pants? Oh, I've misjudged the situation.
I mean, he said pants. He actually.
Yeah, Graham. Wild Turkey 101 can't beat it. You just can't. One of the best taste per dollar whiskeys ever made. It's everybody always has one. If someone that does enjoy bourbon and drinks bourbon, it's always going to be on the shelf. I'll even go as far as to say the 81 is a really good value too. It's nowhere near the 101 because the 101 is spectacular. It is a very I'm not going to say iconic, but it's a very it's a stereotypical bourbon. It's got all of the classic bourbon notes, and it's a fantastic price.
You know what? Okay, so I used to know a guy who worked in radio, and his voice was he was also an incredibly skinny, tall white dude, but his voice sounded like a mixture of James Earl Jones and Barry White, and he had the most sexy voice ever.
That is,
and it was from the most unexpected fucking place. It was great.
That's quite a voice.
So AJ, between us, we'll have one outfit. We'll be all set. We're fine.
We'll see where the shirt gets passed. the interdimensional time traveling, space traveling shirt.
This is so good.
Oh, this is getting after dark real fast.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Jason,
It's
can
only
you
an hour
elaborate-
until after dark. Come on, people.
Jason,
keep
can
it
you
together.
elaborate on that Wild Turkey book? Because I am an obsessive reader, and you said Wild Turkey and book in the same sentence, so I'm in.
Please be about actual wild turkeys. Please be about.
Yeah. Don Holland. I'm assuming that you are in Ontario by your excited remark regarding Iron Root coming to the LCBO. If you keep in touch, eventually there will be some point where we have some sort of gathering. Also, Don Holland, if you haven't joined Ontario Whiskey Lovers Society and you are in Ontario, just join that on Facebook. Because sometimes in the future, when everything is all kind of back to normal, we will be having some type of gathering or get together for the Ontario Whiskey Lovers Society.
That'll be a good time.
So
And I would if I could, man. You know that. Like, get up here and we'll have a good time.
Yeah.
It's tricky.
he's been using that line on me for ages.
Oh, awesome, Jason. Cool.
Right. So I do have a question now for Nathan. I've been on radio. Does my radio voice match my face? Oh, and this is distinctly my radio voice right now. This is not my YouTube voice. This is my radio voice.
I like it. It's a nice radio. That's a nice radio voice, I have to say. It's right in the middle of
Oh. Are we putting on our radio voices now?
You're tuning into KWBBY. We don't do that here.
Sweet. Together in traffic on the nines.
the smoothest jazz this side of the Mississippi.
And you know what's really, really odd? The only radio I've ever done has been political. Like, politics talk back shit.
I'm an odd.
So I would pay to.
One of these days, we're going to
listen
do
that
like a
station.
3 a.m. drunken political stream. It's going to be amazing.
Oh. Really?
Mike.
I'm actually the reverse. I'm actually a lady boy, but a boy lady.
That's where the money is, big boy.
Giggity.
There is that.
Sploosh. I'm going to have to make a sploosh banner. I think.
Could come in handy.
Yeah, you could come here. I mean, this is the closest we've got to a sploosh banner at the moment.
Close enough.
or maybe this guy.
Sure.
If there was
That's the
pineapple on that
anti-sploosh.
pizza, then it would be.
No, that's all. Maybe I should just sprinkle a bit of ranch dressing on there and get everyone
Oh
guessing.
my god! No, it's Thousand Island.
Oh, Thousand Island.
Oh,
Or
who
is
was
it-
that? Who brought that
Pass.
up?
Or is it Thousand Islander?
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway.
this is so tasty. This was a big pour of the STR that I put in
I
here.
do
I
have-
have not had dinner, folks,
Oh,
and I'm on to a
I
large.
just realized I have another sexy photo of a man. And it's not just this one,
There we go.
but there's this one.
pour. I'll
There's
never
so
get over
many of
that.
them. There's
You
so
know what?
many.
If people that didn't know, if you posted that on the tribe and said, "Does anyone know who this is?" 0% of people who haven't seen that before would ever fucking guess. Like that is a drastically different look. It's remarkable what beards do.
Oh yeah. It hides a whole myriad of sins and baby faces.
Yeah. He looks like a totally different person. Like he looks.
Okay. That is the best way to spell Rex, with a tiny.
I'm going to look like such an adult after another 6 or 7 years of growing my beard.
Oh, so Nathan, that's Rex from like 4 years ago.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not that long ago at all.
No.
Yeah.
My goodness. And look at the time.
Just about
It
time to start
flies.
harassing Ed over at the Rock Gut Review.
It flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
This has been a good time tonight.
I
Lots
mean,
of-
you know that I have means of just sort of just bringing Ed into here. Kind of.
Just gonna
Still is-
do
Still
like
is
Mystery
YouTube
Science
channel,
Theater
yeah.
3000 style commentary of Ed's stream.
Oh yeah, we could do that. You know,
Could.
it's totally in my wheelhouse. You know that, right?
Could. He probably won't sue us.
I mean, he's right there.
Never mind. He's wearing a shirt. I don't know about
I
that.
don't know. This is terrible. Why is he wearing a shirt?
Oh my god.
Oh, it's because Erica is coming on. If the subtitle is any indication, I don't know. Maybe she
Yeah,
will.
but there's also a high degree of a chance that Ed's just not changed the subtitle.
that is possible. That is possible.
That's it. So
Yeah,
that's the
stretch.
patented Ed stretch. That's how he gets all of his bits into an appropriate spot to fit more.
Sure.
Um,
He would have to. He's a giant.
also, he has trimmed his beard.
Yeah, he's looking good. It's looking very red.
I'm just gonna have a drink of my water here, and okay, now we're gonna get into some whiskey. Damn it, right
Give me-
now, whiskey. I could do a whole thing of this fucking dubbing Ed.
Also, is that hair starting to look more and more like a comb over, Ed?
Oh, it's just starting to look more and more like he either dyes his hair or dyes his beard because his beard is red and his hair isn't.
Well, it could be something else. Ed is watching.
What
That would be
was it?
freaking crazy. Just a total freaking inception moment.
And any minute now, we're gonna pop up in the corner of his stream, and it's gonna be
Oh,
very
yeah,
confusing.
Jason, it will. I promise
so-
I'll do some bad lip syncing for something because that's
Oh.
just fun.
Or
We
so-
used to
so
do
we're
that.
gonna pour some whiskey.
We used to do that.
Why is he saying it's a blind barrel pick experiment stream when one of them clearly says beer barrel and has a fucking label on it?
Oh
Maybe he's
god.
gonna like mix them around or something. I don't know.
Like all of them
Cheers.
clearly have labels on them, Ed.
Cheers, Graham. Appreciate it, buddy. We love having you around. You're one of my favorites too, pal. You're definitely one of my favorite viewers. Not playing favorites. If you guys want to be one of my favorite viewers, follow Graham's example.
Yeah, follow Graham's example. Don't follow us. We're weird. All right, so
Oh, the chaos. Things
I
are gonna
wish
get
that-
very confusing if we don't end this.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. I'm just saying they're gonna get very confusing.
yeah. Oh well, it makes. You know what? When I actually look at it, because I was looking at Ed through the StreamYard thing, not on his thing. The color difference between the beard and the hair is getting wider.
Right? Yeah. It really is.
Yeah. And Jason is letting Ed know the secret of what's happening.
You know, I wonder if it's because he's wearing a mask when he's outside and his gingerness is
Maybe it's
is becoming uneven.
yeah. Is he talking to us now?
I just threw it on there and I didn't have it muted. So, but that would be another whole fucking.
Oh, yep.
I just threw it on there and I didn't have it.
Hi,
muted,
Ed.
But that would be another whole. Oh
Nothing
god.
but chaos. Nothing but chaos. It's okay. It's fair. Fair.
Oh god. It's like a pseudo watch party fucking. Oh god.
That's okay. Fine, Ed. Fine. You do. Well, I'm going over to Ed's stream. So
All right, we're all over there now.
yeah.
All right, you guys. We
It's about an hour.
Yeah, some of us will be back for After Dark. Who knows
Yeah.
if I am. All right.
Bye.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for coming out.